Okay then, let's make a camera lens. Okay then, in the lathe I have a piece of Malaysian acacia. There's a few dark stripes, not all that many, but it should be a lovely gold colour off it. Now what I'm actually doing is I had a client come to me and they want me to make a clock that looks like a camera lens, and they sent me some pictures and they said they prefer this one here. Right, so what I've done is I put it on the computer, measured out roughly what the specs are on it, right, which I have down here. There is of course going to be a little bit of artistic interpretation here because there's certain things that are on this that I can't do, right. I'll be doing something different with what that actually is. The handle, like this actual lens is huge, right. It's a couple of feet long, like it's huge. And there's a built-in handle to support the lens, but I'm going to do something down here as a stand for the clock, right. I'll be putting this little knob in. I won't be putting any of this engraving in or the etching or stuff like that, right. The whole thing should end up around about 240 mil long, right. But that's what I'm working off. Right, so as I said, piece of Malaysian acacia in here. It's like 10.5 by over 4 wood. So there's going to be a little bit of artistic interpretation in this because that thing is basically molded. So let's just look at the picture again there. That thing is basically molded, right. And I'm going to show you a brand spanking new type of clock insert. I'll tell you more about that when I get there. Right, so what I want to do first, round this off and put a tenon on this end, and a large tenon, because I'm going to need to hollow out quite deep on one end of this. Right, so I'll get on with that, and then we'll get to actually working this thing. Right then, we're in the chuck, we're flattened off, we're pretty solid. So what I'm going to do first is drill this end. I need to check a few things first. Okay, this is the clock. Now I got it from the carpentry store, of course. If you're ever looking for anything in Ireland to do with wood turning, tools, anything like that, just go to the carpentry store. Right, it's the safest bet. Now, as you know, I'm not sponsored, I'm not associated with the carpentry store at all, but the people who run it, Pat and the lads, they will not steer you wrong, right. Now, I was waiting for a while for this clock to come in because it's a new style, right. And what it is, it's a completely enclosed skeleton clock, right. It is completely and utterly enclosed, right. So you can just insert it, right, and it's held by means of these rubber fingers around the outside of it. I had to wait a while for this one to come in, but what I need to know is right, the width that I have to drill to is anywhere between 88 and 98 millimeters to insert the clock, but I need to know the depth, how deep I have to go. So I'll just grab a ruler. I would say that 45 mil-ish would be sound, would be grand. Okay. So what I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to do some drilling to hog a lot of the material away. And because this is extremely hard wood, I'm going to just keep stepping it up. I'm going to start something and just keep stepping it up. Right, so we'll get on with that. So this is kind of a strange one. I've never been asked to turn a lens for camera basically before. But this is for a presentation, I believe. Now 45mm on this is there around about. You can see that, got it marked there. So 45mm is around about there. Right, so we get the drill in this, and I'm going to drill it out to my largest drill bit. She said I'm just going to step it up because this wood is so hard. Right then, that's the drilling done. Now we're just going to get that out to the width that I need, which is anywhere between 88 and 98mm. So we go halfway in between, say 92mm, something like that. Right, so I need to bring it out to there. This is the bit that I'm worried about. I'm going to have to move the macro camera for this, sorry. This is the bit that's worrying me. Right, I'm going to make doubly sure this is really tight and that's shut. Because this is the bit that's worrying me. It's hollowing this out. Now then, what will be the best way to do this? I'm trying to avoid putting as much side pressure on it as I can. So probably an extremely sharp small ball gouge might be the way to go here. Give this a go and see what happens. Right, I'm going to have to turn on the other light because I'm getting in my own light there. Let's see what I'm doing. Nearly there. Go in there now with a square carbide. So need to spin this. Right then, I put a fresh carbide on this. Down the bottom, what's happening is that I'm getting a curve instead of a flat. Okay, right. Still breathe a bit now. And there's still a little ridge there, do you see it? One of the cameras is picking it up. Another macro camera is probably way off, but that one over there we pick it up. You see that little ridge there? I had to get rid of that. So I can't breathe yet. Right then, I got rid of that. Now, let's see if this clock will fit in. I'm going to blow it out first though. Now, right then, let's see if that clock fits. Hopefully. Nope. Needs to be a little wider. I can still see that line just there, so definitely needs to be a little wider. So we got to cut it again. There we go, we're in. We are in. And we didn't do too bad in staying around with it. What I need to do is I need to mark the outside of that. I need to bring that down to there. And then to make sure everything still stays square when I'm doing this, I'm going to put the tailstock back in. Put the macro camera back down where it's supposed to be, which is watching the tool. And I'm very gently going to try to bring this down. The difficulty with this one is I have to bring one side down slightly more than the other. Should be it. Yeah, I'll do it nicely. See, I don't want to bring it down too much because I know when I sand it I'll be bringing it down a little bit more. Alright then. Get this tailstock back in, and now let's get some. Well, what we'll do first is we'll completely round it off. to make sure. Then we'll start getting some marks on this. Right now, what we have is at the start, right, we've two 10mm and a 40mm. Right, so here's my first 10, here's my second 10. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a 40. Then I have a 25 and 25. I have another 10. A little bit, make it easy on myself. Another 10. Then I have a 65, which is around a 95. A 30. And a 10. Right? No, I can't do it that way. I have to do this one at a time because I was wondering why I had so much left over. If you look here and here and here, there are slopes, and there's even one there. Right, there are slight slopes in it. So what I didn't do there was account for the slopes. So that one now melds into that one. Right, so my first slope needs to be there. No, hang on a minute. Yeah, a very slight slope there, but I'm going to have to miss that one because of the width of the wood. So that's all just going to have to go straight back to this one is now the first slope. So I have a slope here, right? I have a little slope just there. Right. This is where the artistic interpretation is starting to come in because of the design that I have to do. So I just think my first kind of slope here. So I want to put a slope down to that. Right, I want to cut a slope from there down to that cut. It's a little deeper than that, so we can go a bit deeper here. Right. Now then, where am I? Right, I have gone as far as there. So what I need is right on here. I need 25 now to the next slope. Right, I need 25 mil to the next slope, which is there. Right. Right, so I need to slope that down to there. I'm going to start cutting these slopes in so that I can see what I'm doing in my head. take this one off completely. Right then, from there and down to there, and down the side of it there, and that's the 25. I'm just double and triple checking everything here. Right, 60 is right to there. This one should be a 25 from the end of that slope, which is there. And that should be 10 there. Oh no, I need to cut that slope in and then do a 10, don't I? Actually, do I? Sorry, I bumped the camera there. It's still okay. I'm using the camera a little bit. There we go. Right. And there. Now that to me doesn't look like a slope. That looks like almost a right angle there. Right, so we will grab sharp parting tool. Just give that a right angle there. Down to the next level. And this needs to be slightly down. Right then, that's that piece. Then we have 10, okay. $25, 10, 65. Right, that has to come down at a slope to a 65 from there. So let's get rid of some of this. Now, roughly where that line is where I want to go down to. Now I want to slope that. Not too bad, but I need that to be sharper. So I will grab a parting tool again to just bring that slope in so it's sharp. There we go, that's a lot sharper. Now what I need is a 65 from the end of that slope, which is end of the slope is there, around about there. I need to cut in there to the same level as that. Right, set down to there. And I need another slope and a 30. Right, so get rid of some of this. Just want to put a little mark there so that I know where I'm supposed to be. Here. After leaving that pencil mark on there because I want to start this slope there. Slope it. Yep, there's my slope. Right, so I need to get 30 mil the end of the slope, 30 mil up the end of the slope is that mark. Lovely. Right. Leave a bit of the slope in. Get the last of the slope in. Yeah, judging by the picture, this slope is slightly longer than that slope. So this is just a little sharper, I think. Yeah, that'll match up. It's a little bump just here I don't like. Got it. Alright then. What do you think? That is not too bad. No, hang on now. That end one. That's a narrow slope. That's a narrowish slope. That one needs to be deeper. This slope here needs to be deeper. Yeah, that's more like it. Now, there are a few lines in this that I want to try and get into it as well. Like, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. Right, so these I just need to put lines into. But what I'll do is I'll sand it first before I put those lines in. Right, so I'll sand this and we'll be right back. Right, and just buffing the wax off. I put those lines in that I was talking about. I forgot to turn the cameras back on for that, sorry. But right, what I was going to say when I was doing them was, if you want crisp lines like that in something, sand it first and then cut those lines in. You stand a very big risk of, when you're sanding, of taking crispness out of those lines. So basically sand it first, then put the lines in. And what I used was, where did I put it? What am I going to? No, that's not it. Put it back up in the rack. Is that it? Oh, right, okay. Was this tool, right? It's known as a load of things. Like, when I was learning this first, this was simply called a point tool. Nowadays it's more commonly referred to as a spear point tool, because what is taken over as a point tool is like a round bar that's shaped into a point. But that's what I used on it, and it's very good. The only thing I actually use this tool for is cutting lines into things, because it's just about the best tool out there. And what it is basically, it's a pointed scraper, right? So I said, sorry, I forgot to turn the cameras on when I was down that bit. But this part didn't turn out too bad at all. I've tried the clock in it. It works, sits smack on. There's a face of the clock and a tiny little ridge of wood that you can see, which is what I was looking for. Right. And there it is. And I've been looking at the grain and what way would be best to mount this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this part here that we can see as the top of the clock, because the grain all runs towards the front. It brings the eye to the clock. Whereas if I use this part, the grain is all running that way, and it will throw your eye to the back of the clock. So it's just something to think about. And not to mention, there's an interesting little something there in the wood. No idea what it is, but it's in the wood itself, and it'll add that extra bit of interest. But what I want to do is throw the eye to the clock face rather than to the back of the clock, so I'm going to use the grain to do that. Right then, I'm going to part this off. What I'm going to do is part it off, but I'm going to part it off with a slight chamfer and then hand sand it, and then we'll get on to the next parts of doing this, which is this handle thing, which I'm not going to be able to do exactly like that, right? But I have an idea in my head, because basically that will not support the weight of this if I do it in wood, that kind of shape. So I have an idea for that. And then there's going to be, the whole clock is going to sit on a round base, and I have to do that little knob as well. So I'll part this off, and I'll be back to you as soon as I'm doing that little base piece, and I'll do the knob at the same time because it's handy. Alright, so I'll see you in a sec. Right then, now I'm going to do that bit there, and the idea I have in my head, because I said that's not going to hold it, is what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a small circle, and then I'm going to flatten off two sides of it and attach it there. It should work. It's the closest I can get to that kind of a shape, while still keeping enough strength to hold this thing up, because it's quite a large piece of wood, so it's quite heavy. Right, so first thing, I'm going to round this off. There's not much to this, but right, now I'm going to sand and finish that disc, and then I'm going to cut the button and sand it. It won't take all that long, so I'll do that and we'll be back in a sec. Right, now I'm going to sand in these flats, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tool rest to help me keep this level. And I've taken the interface pad off of this, so that it's just going to hit a flat surface. So hopefully this works. And it's a piece of 150 grit. Yeah, that should do it. Yeah, it should do it just nicely. And what I want to do is I want to put dowel in there and in there to make sure it holds. Now the base is very simple. It is just a round base domed with a flat top on it. It's a very simple thing to do. Right, I'm just going to round this off, put a tenon on it, stick it in a set of jaws and shape it. So it's a pretty easy thing to do, it's a basic thing. Now, I'm deliberately keeping the base small because I don't want it taking away from the lens, from the camera lens. So I'm deliberately going to keep it small. First thing I want to do is face it off. I've got a small ball gouge. And crack is going all the way up, but the shape I have in mind should get rid of it. Yeah, cut most of the crack away. I'll fill it now, but I want to get a really clean cut there on the top. And slight chamfer going inwards from there. Check that crack. It's there, but it's hardly anything. And it's not on that side, and so I did cut most of it out. I'm going to stick a little bit of CA. Right, there's a very slight crack just there. And now I'm going to sand and finish that part, which is the base, and then we get to putting this thing together. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. Right, now just buffing the wax off. The batteries that are running out in the macro camera because this took a while. Right. As I said, it's a simple shape for the base because I don't want it to take away from the lens itself. Now what I need to do is drill an 8mm hole smack in the middle of this for attaching it to that thing I made for joining the two of them together. Right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill an 8mm hole either side of this, so that's going to sit there like that. The lens is going to sit on top of it. Right, now I'm just going to part this off and finish the base. Right, the only thing I really need to do now is turn an 8mm dowel for there and for there. Turn a 6mm dowel, or no, I don't need to turn a 6mm dowel. I need to drill a 6mm hole for the button on and put it together. So there's not much turning left in this, so what I'll do is I'll do all that and I'll bring you back for a look at it when it's together. So I'll see you in a minute. Right then, now we have it. Clock that as a camera lens. I didn't use that little knob button thing that I was talking about earlier in the video. Before I drilled the hole for it, I just tried it in place and it looked weird. It kind of threw the shape off. Hopefully the client is happy with it. The clock face has just come out there a little bit. So hopefully the client is happy with it. I think waiting for that clock face to come in, I think was the right decision because it adds some depth into it. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that one. As I said, hopefully the client is as well. So if you enjoyed that one or got anything out of it, if you wouldn't mind clicking like on the video, and I'll see you in the next one.